Hello everyone, welcome to the 5th edition of The Future of Travel, entitled Winter Sun Getaway. I'm Devin Canaz, I'm the leader and publisher of Travelweek, a media company dedicated to getting travel agents the information they need to do their job to send clients on fabulous holidays. Now, last time we met at a Future of Travel event, it was June, and while things may still seem a little bit depressed on the tourism side, we've actually made quite a bit of progress. So first of all, I'm back in my office. That's new. Most Canadians are now fully vaccinated. We got rid of the pesky hotel quarantine, and now people coming back into Canada don't have to quarantine at all, which really helps the tourism industry. And Canada is finally allowing fully vaccinated tourists to enter our borders as well. So while it may seem, that tourism is still having a rough time, we actually have made some progress. So there is some reason to be optimistic, and I'm sure we all know people that have gotten away or are planning to get away this winter. Next up, I think it's going to be the fear factor that us as travel industry professionals are going to have to help people break through. For example, the first time I got on a plane during the pandemic, I was really afraid. I had my gloves, I had my mask, I had my visor, but then when I was on the plane, the visor kept fogging up, so I eventually had to get rid of it. But we have to understand that people are genuinely afraid to get on planes and travel, and we need to help them get over this. And the other important role of travel agents is going to be helping travelers navigate all the new rules and regulations that we need to abide by so that we can travel safely. So, like always, we have an absolute fabulous lineup of keynote speakers for you here today. We have the cream of the crop. We are going to be talking about and dissecting exactly what is happening right now in regards to sun destinations this winter in particular. We have great prizes like always, including a $500 gift card that we're going to draw at the end, and you must be present to collect that. So throughout the show, if you hear your name for a prize, you're going to make yourself known in the chat box below, and one of my colleagues will get to you. And use the chat box to talk amongst each other, shout out to any of the keynotes, make your opinions known. We want to hear from you. So thank you again so much for joining us. The mission, let's call it, of these virtual events was to get everyone together and keep things moving forward and try and keep people as positive as possible throughout this difficult time for our industry. So we think we've been succeeding with that. We've gotten really, really good feedback from all the agents. So we're here again. Let's do it. I'm going to pass it off to Catherine Folliott. She is the long-time editor of Travelweek. Hi, Catherine.
Thanks, Devin. Hi, everyone. I'm here with Andrew Dawson, who is Chief Operating Officer and President of Tour Operations for Sunwing Travel Group. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Thank you for having me, Catherine.
So we're at an always exciting time of year. This is obviously a little bit different, but we've been here before. This is the second fall that we're heading into still in the pandemic booking season. There's been quite a lot that's happened over the past 18 months, and the biggest part is probably Canada's incredibly high vaccination rate. Tour operators and airlines, including Sunwing, are rolling out great-looking programs for the winter. There's still some hesitancy out there, but I think a lot of people are much more open to taking a vacation this winter. Can you tell us what you're expecting from this winter in terms of bookings?
Well, the current, we're still feeling it out. Nothing's kind of set for the current winter. Currently fall, we're running around 20-25% of what we would normally do in the fall, although some destinations such as Punta Cana and Cancun, we're nearly back to the levels of capacity that we would have had 2 years ago at this time. So it's very much it's very much week to week, it's extremely price and time sensitive in getting people to book. Very, very last minute market. Even for Canada, it's a very, very last minute market. And then we're seeing some good bookings for Christmas. A little bit subdued in the family market because kids that are too young to be vaccinated yet. Not easy for them to go back to school straight away after Christmas break. So there's a little bit of an edge taken off there, but strong demand for Christmas. And then we're seeing levels that are on the whole decent for January and February. But there are a lot of big unknowns at this moment in time that we have to navigate through. So although we're seeing good bookings, we're also seeing levels of cancellations, as well as, one person in a group decides that they don't want to go. It can sometimes lead to the whole group falling apart, which is a pity. And then we've got big uncertainties as well. We've still only got, within Canada, 10 airports that are able to operate on an international basis. We normally fly from 32 with Sunwing. We've already pared that down to kind of 27, but that leaves us with 17 unknowns, and it's an unknown for the customer too. So there's a lot of uncertainty out there, and a lot of really doing it by the seat of your pants this winter. But overall, optimism, cautious optimism.
Yes, that's right. That's the key words, isn't it? I really appreciate your
honesty. That was your phrase, not mine, actually.
Well, it's certainly being said a lot, and your candor. That sort of everybody's being so realistic this year that there's not nobody thinks that this is going to be, hey, it's all over, we're back, and it's still very tricky up there. And as you said, with the kids with the vaccinations, that's a huge one. And I know. I've got a 10-year-old daughter. I'm waiting for that news too. And so many families are waiting to hear that with the vaccinations. Now, I know that so far your destinations are, I think, Mexico, DR, Cuba, Jamaica, St. Martin, and Aruba. Can you see maybe adding any more if things did go well? And what do you think those might be?
Yeah, as I say, we're being very cautious in opening new routes up. There's no point us trying to expand really, really fast for the sake of it. Running fresh air and empty seats around is going to undo a lot of hard work and savings, and some very unattractive savings that we've had to do over the last 18 months. So we're very guarded in what we open up. However, we're seeing good loads on what's currently operating, and we're delighted that we'll be able to actually have our first departures from Western Canada in 2 weeks' time, actually. So we'll open up Calgary and Edmonton and Vancouver, which, despite everything that's happening in Alberta, there are reasonable loads on the first few flights, and they're going to Cancun and Cabo. But going forward as well, I mean, our main departure points have been Montreal and Toronto, and we'll be adding new destinations from there. So to the list that you already mentioned, we have Costa Rica coming. We'll expand our Mexico operations in the next couple of weeks by adding Mazatlan and Puerto Vallarta to there. And then if the Dominican Republic keeps going well with Punta Cana, I can see us adding Puerto Plata. If Cuba does take off, then there's Cayo Santa Marias and O'Higgins to add. So plenty of things to look forward to and plenty of things to add. The key is trying to get that sense of demand, which is really, really difficult when everybody, when half of the plane is booking within 10 days.
Yeah, that's incredible, because I know you mentioned with the short booking window that has always been in Canada, but that's an incredibly short booking window, isn't it? That's far beyond what we're normally seeing. But of course, these are such strange times, and people, they don't know what's going to happen. The government's travel advisory, it's been in place for 18 months now, and I think people have kind of almost gotten used to it. Is that sort of the biggest thing, do you think, that's causing some frustration with travelers, that the advisory is still in place? Do you think that's having an impact still?
I would actually say probably the actual Canadian government advisory probably doesn't resonate that much with customers anymore. What they do want to know is, what's the entry requirement? What do I have to do before I can even get on the plane? And it's great that some destinations like Mexico and like Dominican Republic have made it very, very easy to get into the country. We've recently just redone our booking engine to actually flag the places that have easy entry. So that's the first concern. The second concern is, do I need to be tested while I'm there? What will happen on the resort? The third one is, how much is the PCR test to get back to Canada going to be? How do I arrange it and everything else? So again, we're trying to smooth in everything that we're sending out to customers, even on our website, in the booking path, trying to show where those PCR tests can be easily got without interrupting, and just giving you a sense of security that this is something that you can do. Yes, there are extra obstacles, but they're not huge, and they're ones that other travelers have kind of conquered and had a great time. So I think it's more the testing regimes and the unknown. And then, of course, I've got to say it again, another valid concern is, what happens if, when I do get that PCR test, it's a positive one? Will I be insured? Will I be covered to stay in the destination and so on? Will you get me home afterwards?
Yeah, I know. I hear you. I know so many destinations, especially in the Caribbean, are doing everything they can to streamline their requirements and make it easy. But that hassle factor for a lot of people, we're in the industry, we know what it's like to book travel. But for a lot of people who don't book travel that often, the hassle factor, as you say, it's the concerns about the testing and the requirements. So it's great that Sunwing is doing everything it can to try and, make sure that people know that it is doable. In terms of the future travel credits, are a lot of these clients that are booking, are a lot of them sort of booking from future travel credits from the when everybody had to do cancellations last year?
They're actually not, to be honest. No. As you know, we in July and August we went through a refund process where we refunded a good number of people who were holding those future travel credits. We're left with about 30% of people decided to keep the future travel credit and use it to travel with us. Of those, actually only around 10% have. So it gives us great confidence that there are a lot of people who opted to actually keep the credit. It was their choice rather than taking a refund, who are looking to book at some future time. And it may just be that, they're in, let's say they're in Saskatoon, they're waiting to hear when the airport's going to be open before they actually book, or we have a lot of customers in Atlantic Canada. This really isn't the booking period when they would normally book, as the programs there really only kick in from mid-February onwards. So there are a few reasons for it, but again, it's very exciting that we know that there's pent-up demand there. Yeah.
Yes, pent-up demand for sure. Just in closing, is there anything? I mean, every company in the travel industry has learned so much over the past 18 months. Is there anything you want to share in terms of what Sunwing has learned that it would sort of, take forward going into the coming years? That's sort of an invaluable lesson. If there's anything good to come out of this, any sort of invaluable lesson?
Oh, I mean, I think one of the things that's really touched me has been the loyalty of the staff. I know it's not unique to Sunwing, and as an industry, it's really just been touching how people have been willing and wanting to help. Even we had cases where people unfortunately were laid off. We're still saying, well, is there anything you need me to do? I'll do it I'm willing to work just to help the company and just so that I can, we can get back standing. And people have all pitched in. We've lost that kind of siloism within the company, and everybody pitches in to help everybody, and that's really been the big positive to come out of it. The knowing of the deep kind of like loyalty to the company and to the leaders of the company that our staff have is really what I'll remember from this and what's touched me the most, to be honest.
Thanks for sharing that. I really, I think that resonates with everyone because, companies are made up of people, and I think that spirit of pitching in that was seen in other companies as well, and that's great that that certainly at Sunwing that was front and center. So thank you so much, Andrew. I really enjoyed talking to you, and this update about the coming season has been, I think, much appreciated by myself and our listeners. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and now we'll just go to check out a video from Sunwing.
Hi everyone, I'm Cindy Saucer-Tomo, Deputy Editor at Travelweek, and I'm here right now with Adolfo Perez, Senior Vice President of Global Sales and Marketing at Carnival Cruise Line. Hi Adolfo, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate the opportunity to get to talk to your readers and your watchers. Thanks for thinking about Carnival.
Of course. So, a lot has changed since our last virtual conference, especially for the cruise industry. We've seen in the past few weeks several cruise lines, including Carnival, resume operations. So can you tell us how the restart has been so far for Carnival?
Yeah, absolutely. Love to share that with you. So we started back in July. So July 3rd was our very first cruise back in service with guests on board, and that was out of Galveston, Texas. Soon to be followed by the Horizon out of Miami, then the Breeze a few weeks later, then the Mardi Gras, so on and so forth. So as of September 19th, we actually have 11 of our ships sailing. That's 50% of our US-based fleet that will be back in the water, or that are back in the water as of September the 19th. We also have plans to roll out additional ships. So by the end of this year, we will actually have 15 of our ships back in service, sailing from 7 different home ports around the U.S. So Florida, Texas, California, and we also had sailings out of Seattle, Washington. So we're really, really excited about the pace of the restart. It seemed like it took forever to be back in the water, but now as we've been rolling the ships out, it has really been exciting to see this rollout happen.
I know it's exciting for everyone. I'm sure everyone was relieved to see all those ships sail out. So great news. Yes. Across the board. And I know Carnival is operating vaccinated cruises, which is great news. But, there have been a few positive cases on board since the restart, which isn't surprising since we all know that the vaccines aren't 100% foolproof. So what do you want to say to those who think that vaccination mandates aren't working or aren't necessary, especially since, cases are happening anyways?
Right. So look, the fact is that COVID is around no matter what, no matter where you are. When you go to your grocery store, when you go to a bookstore, whatever place you go to, it's impossible to completely eliminate the risk of being exposed to COVID. By operating the vaccinated cruises that we're operating by, and as they're defined by the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control in the United States, means that at least 98% of the crew members must be vaccinated, and at least 95% of the guests must be vaccinated. We also require proof of a negative COVID test prior to embarkation to to ensure that, even though people are vaccinated or have gotten an exemption to be able to sail without being vaccinated, that they arrive at the port with a negative COVID test. So the other thing too that I would say is that we have put into place very strict protocols on board that help us mitigate the possibility of an infection by requiring vaccinations, by requiring tests. We also have plans in place to, if we do have a case on board, how we react and how we take care of the guest if that so does happen. And you're right, there have been cases on board, some of our ships as well as other suppliers. But when you go to a resort somewhere in Mexico or you go somewhere else in the Caribbean or whatever, you don't necessarily know that people have been tested positive. But we're very upfront about it. Very small cases. Typically, they're very mild cases that we've had on board, and there has been no, great spreading of the virus on board because we have taken so many steps to ensure that we do everything we possibly can to not introduce it on board the ship, and if we do have it on board, how we, handle those situations. Also, we did implement stricter mask wearing requirements. So. We require masks in certain places, like, for example, when you are in an elevator, when you're walking into the dining room, obviously not while you're eating or drinking. In large spaces where a lot of people are gathered, we absolutely require them. But when you're outside on board, on deck, there are no mask required. And I have to tell you, our guests have been very, very cooperative and have also been very, very appreciative of the fact that they've gotten to go on their cruise that they've been really, really excited about going on now for over 18 months. I was actually on the Mardi Gras on July 31st. That's our brand new ship, first LNG ship, liquefied natural gas ship sailing out of North America. And she's spectacular. And I was on that cruise, and I can tell you, we had 4,200 guests on board, and people were having a blast. It felt like a normal cruise. Yeah, there are certain things that you're doing on board that you would normally do, but wearing masks has become pretty common, at least here in the United States, and I'm assuming in Canada as well, and in many other countries. So we haven't had any negative impact to our guest satisfaction. In fact, we measure Net Promoter Score, which is the likelihood that someone would recommend your product to a friend, family, or colleague. And our Net Promoter Scores have skyrocketed since we began the restart back in July. So it's really a testament to the fact that people are just so excited about sailing on board, despite the fact that there's a few inconveniences along the way, because it's just such a great vacation no matter what. And not only that, our crew members who have been, haven't been working for 18 months, when, we finally got our ship staffed up, I can't tell you how excited and how happy and grateful they are for the guests that are coming on board the ships that our travel partners are sending us. And it shows in their faces, their smiles, their service, and like I said, the Net Promoter Scores are really, really going out of, skyrocketing.
I know the cruise industry has done a stellar job at resuming operations. Health and safety has been, top of mind throughout this whole process. So kudos to the entire industry. Now let's switch gears and talk about another hot button issue: mixed dosing. Sure. Now I know that the CDC is saying that COVID-19 vaccines are not interchangeable, which is a bit of a problem for the nearly 4 million Canadians who've had a mixed dose. So can you confirm for us, what is Carnival's policy on mixed dosing right now?
Sure, absolutely. So we are following what the CDC has approved in the conditional sale order. In the conditional sale order, unfortunately, it does not allow for the mix of the vaccines. So Pfizer with Moderna, AstraZeneca with either Pfizer or Moderna has not been approved by the CDC as part of the conditional sale order. Obviously, we would love to welcome our Canadian guests back on board. Certainly not that we don't want you on board. It's just that because of the way that the conditional sale order was put together, unfortunately, as of now, it has not permitted for us to accept as vaccinated the mixed doses. Doesn't mean that it won't change. I think that, I'm sure there's a lot of work behind the scenes on trying to get something like that approved, because there are so many places where there was a mixed vaccine. I think not only Canada, but perhaps maybe even in the UK or some of the other countries, even Australia, which is now using really Pfizer, but they started out with AstraZeneca. So until we get permission to consider that a vaccinated guest, unfortunately, to much to our lament, the Canadians who have that right now can't sail. But trust me, we want you back on board, and we really hope that we can move this along.
Hopefully, it all gets sorted out before the winter season, which is hugely important. Let's talk about the winter season. How are bookings so far?
So we just did an earnings call the other day, which really highlighted our position for 2022, mostly focusing on the second half of 2022, where we're actually ahead of our bookings and pricing versus the same time for 2019. So for 2019, that was our banner year. We had an amazing 2019, and to be that far booked ahead this far in advance is really encouraging. We still have space available on cruises, departing in the first quarter. It's not, we're not full, but we're still focusing on getting to to full. We've been operating at about 70% capacity, and that's been by design. Because not only did we want to allow additional space for all the protocols, but as you remember, these crew members had been off the ships for 18 months or so, or 16 months, and we wanted to make sure that they got back into the groove of things so they could deliver the service that your clients and our guests expect, and also to ensure that we are able to accommodate, have less crowding during this time, just to make it more comfortable for everyone. So, like I said, around 70%. Our goal is to be at 100%, hopefully by early next year. So we're going to have plenty of opportunities for travel advisors to get out there and make some bookings for first quarter and second quarter. But like I said, bookings have been really strong, and we look forward to welcoming more Canadians on board.
I'm glad you mentioned travel advisors, because Carnival has always been supportive of the Asian community. And I think I recall, was it you who got that tattoo a few years ago on your arm that said Travelweek Group? I think that was you.
I do have it.
If that's not loyalty, I don't know what is. So can you tell all the agents watching right now, how are you helping them through this recovery phase, and how do you plan on working with them heading into the winter season?
Great. So yes, I really do have a tattoo. It's still here. If I had a short sleeve shirt on, I could show it to you. But I would really just drop the mic with that, honestly. But no, but honestly, we've done a lot. First of all, I want to thank the travel advisors out there, because I don't think there's been a tougher job out there than being a travel advisor today in the last year and a half. So many things happening, not just with cruise, with every travel product that you could think of. And then on top of that, with cruises, I can't tell you how many times we thought we were going to be sailing, and we had to re-extend the pause and cancel, rebook. And the travel advisors out there have really been amazing. Their perseverance during this really tough time has been so admirable, and we really, really appreciate it. It's been a really tough job. So then we fast forward, and now we're sailing. We have CDC guidelines that literally before, everybody wanted us, well, what are your guidelines on board? Why haven't you shared that? And literally they were changing like daily, sometimes multiple times in a day. So keeping up with all this stuff has been really, really a tough job. And I can't say thank you enough for that. The other things that we did, and this was right from the beginning, we actually already did this, but we always from 2016, we had implemented a policy that travel advisors would get commission on the full value of a future cruise credit. So when the pandemic happened, we not only were we protecting the full commission on the FCC, the future cruise credit, but we were also protecting the commission on the original booking that got paused for that cruise. So they got that commission, assuming it was fully paid. They got that commission, and then when the guest finally sails with the FCC, they also got commission as if they paid for it with cash. So that was one of the big things that we did. Another thing that we did was we protected the 2021 commission levels 2020 commission levels into 2021, as well as 2021 commission levels into 2022. So typically, travel advisors, their agency earns a specific commission percentage based on the number of sailed bookings they have in a given year. Since all of the stuff going on with 2020, I'm actually losing like track of what year all this started now as I'm thinking, but 2020, we obviously, we know you weren't going to be able to hit the levels that you were at before. So if you were at, let's say, 14% commission or 13% commission because you had a certain number of sailed guests in the prior year, there was no way you were going to obviously earn that commission level for the following year. So we went ahead and protected that. Right now, it's protected all the way through 2022. So regardless of what number of bookings that are made and sailed in 21 this year, your commission rate will not be changed from what it was as far back as 2019. So that was another thing that we did. We've also, taken a lot of time to ensure that we're engaging with travel partners. So whether it's through webinars, we've done a virtual WHATA event. I don't know, I can't remember if you were at the WHATA event that we did in Toronto a few years ago. It was a live event. We did a virtual one. We had like 4,000 people on board. And that was really to show consumers the value of a travel advisor. And I think we're probably the only supplier that has really done a consumer-facing campaign to promote the value of a travel advisor and why you should book not only your cruises, but all of your travel, your holidays, your business travel. It really is the way to go. And then also we've done things to make it simpler for the virtual world. How many times have we all been on Zoom or on Teams or one of these, different, meeting platforms? And so we've put together toolkits to help travel advisors with virtual ship tours, virtual cruise parties. If they go to goccl.com, they will find all the tools that they need. We provide them with marketing collateral, social media posting stuff. It really is a full complement of things to help travel advisors during this time and during normal times as well. So I think we've spent a lot of time, and not to mention the amazing great rates that we've been offering travel advisors in the coming months that have really been very popular. We've gotten a lot of travel agents on board our ships. I was on a cruise, the July 31st cruise on the Mardi Gras, a travel agent that I know very well from Florida. She was on a 3-week back-to-back cruise on the Mardi Gras. And she just couldn't wait to be on board the ship. So we've done, I hope that travel advisors see all of that we've put into this. Hasn't been perfect. We've had challenges, but I think that we definitely got your back. And I hope that message has gotten across really strongly to everybody.
All good stuff for travel agents. Very reassuring. Thank you for sharing all that. And, travel agents rock, as your tattoo say, right?
Yeah. Well, I take my shirt off, but I don't think that would be appropriate.
Maybe next time. Thank you so much, Adolfo, for being here. That was great. And hope the rest of the season goes off without a hitch.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And now we're going to go to some quick videos from our partners in the Caribbean.
Come from a place, we accept every single race. Paradise is we name. Come over and you will fall in love. I should stay, have a special time of the year where we just get away. Most beautiful display. Go search a million places, travel a million miles to find a vibe like this and have a time like this. You may have a million problems, need some place to ease your mind. Welcome to my place, oh yeah. With arms wide open. This place here is the sweetest place. My culture, you can eat arms wide open. Promise you'll never be the same. Show you how we done celebrate. Jump all around us, how we done. Set all around us, how we done. Follow the round us, how we done.
Barbados is a beautiful island in the Caribbean that represents many things for many people. It is the perfect holiday getaway, a foodie paradise, the birthplace of rum, and the home of Rihanna. Welcome to Barbados.
Hi, I'm back with Vanessa Ledesma, Acting CEO and Director General of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association. Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Very well, thank you. So for those of us who don't know, can you tell us a bit about the CHTA and its role during the pandemic?
Of course, the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association for 59 years has been the advocate and representative of the private hospitality and tourism sector with a footprint that extends to 33 member destinations. So pretty much everything that covers the Caribbean Sea, all the way from Bermuda in the north to the south, including Belize, Guyana, and Suriname in South America. And throughout the pandemic, we've supported the industry and our members by advancing health safety initiatives, providing our stakeholders with resources to help rebuild trade and traveler confidence, advancing regional collaboration to support tourism's recovery, and making the case for travel with international markets. And lastly, but as equally important, sharing our story with the world.
Now, I know you took over as acting CEO back in January, and it must not have been easy taking over during travel's biggest crisis. So can you tell us how that experience was for you?
Well, I've been with the organization for 23 years and involved in the industry for a little bit over 25. So we've had our share of crises, of course, none of them like COVID, which had higher impacts in the Caribbean than the global average. So I've known that the industry is resilient, and being able to be an agent of change, support our members and stakeholders overall with resources to strengthen and grow their businesses, as well as safeguard the industry for the individuals that every day represent our industry, has been an extreme honor. So, and also we always look at challenges providing opportunities. So we've had the ability of showcasing our organization to the world, and most importantly, the Caribbean to the world.
Well, hats off to you for the job that you've been doing these past few months. So well done. Recovery, the Caribbean has done fairly well throughout the pandemic. They've taken health and safety, very seriously, and there have been relatively low cases in some islands. So well done. Recovery has varied though across the region from island to island. Can you give us an overview of the destinations that you think are ready right now to welcome back visitors?
Yes, I could say when we look at our 33 member destinations that over 85% of our destinations are fully open. Travelers are able to enjoy the endless opportunities and take advantage of the diversity of our product. As you said, the Caribbean has done extremely well. People are looking for out the beaten path destinations, and the Caribbean has it all. It appeals to all types of traveler, the adventurer, the eco and cultural explorer, families, soloists, luxury, LGBTQ, romance, particularly those that are looking for wellness, as the Caribbean is perfect with our beaches built for physical distancing and countless of outdoor experiences. And we know that it has been challenging for travelers to plan their vacations and figure out what is available and what type of requirements there are, and to assist travelers in easing the booking experience. We are tracking entry requirements for our 33 member destinations with a grid that details all of the basic entry requirements, including type of testing, window of testing before travel, insurance requirements, as well as the forms that would need to be completed before traveling. This is available in our consumer website at www.caribbeantravel.com, which if you have not encountered it before, you should have it bookmarked in your internet browser as your one-stop source for everything Caribbean.
As you mentioned, it has been challenging to keep track of all these different protocols and requirements, especially for travel agents. What can you tell us about health and safety and how that's been and how that's been regulated? Is there a standardized set of protocols being used across the region to make it easier for everyone to sort of keep track of everything?
Let me start by sharing with the audience that the Caribbean hospitality and tourism industry takes pride of having a unique partnership between health and tourism that dates back to 2015 when CHTA and our public sector counterpart, the Caribbean Tourism Organization, formalized the partnership with the Caribbean Public Health Agency with the goal of collaboration on health safety prevention and mitigation efforts towards our employees, communities, and visitors. So having some of the structure in place already was helpful in the management of COVID because there were resources that we had already developed in our aim of promoting a culture where health safety is critical to the industry. In June last year, we developed a set of regional guidelines that are endorsed globally by the World Travel and Tourism Council to support the reopening of tourism. And these guidelines provide as well practical checklist for destinations, accommodation, transportation, F&B providers, and attractions. We've also deployed a training series where we've had over 8,000 supervisors and managers from across the region having been trained, and we continue in our efforts to increase participation in these activities, recognizing the businesses as well that achieve this training and commit to monitoring and mitigation by the endorsement of the Caribbean Travelers Assurance Stamp for Healthier, Safer Tourism, which is a recognition to all of the businesses that have gone through the criteria of utilizing the guidelines, doing the training, and monitoring for situations such as COVID, thereby providing another layer of confidence to the traveler.
That's very reassuring to know. Thank you for sharing that. And, over the past year or so, we've seen, hotels and resorts reopen, which has been excellent news. And it's not so much of a surprise to see the bigger resort chains reopen and bounce back quickly. But I want to talk about how the smaller hotels and the boutique properties are doing right now. How are they managing the crisis?
So the Caribbean is very representative of the independent and small properties. It's a little bit over 60% of our membership. So across the board, all of the businesses have been impacted. And the Caribbean hospitality and tourism industry has been a driver for small and medium enterprises, facilitating the creation of numerous businesses that enhance the traveler's experience and support our communities. So COVID's impact has been really hard for such businesses, not only the boutique properties, because of increase in operational costs, staffing challenges, particularly at the onset of the pandemic with the lockdowns, and of course, lack of business due to travel restrictions. A return to travel, providing a seamless and safe experience is critical to kickstart the region's economic recovery. And that's why we continue to advocate for harmonization of entry protocols to ease the travel experience and reduce concerns from the traveler, promote that travel to the Caribbean is safe, and it continues to get safer as the rate of vaccination within the tourism and related communities is higher than the global average, and continuously providing governments from key international markets information on our management of the pandemic. So any advisories to the region are not only based on positivity levels, but also considering the entire scenario, particularly that the Caribbean continues to have one of the lowest rates of incidence, hospitalization, and deaths in the world.
That's excellent news, and hopefully the smaller hotels and resorts will get through this quickly and okay. And hopefully the agents watching will lend their support to the smaller businesses by sending their clients this winter, which is just around the corner. I want to talk about winter. What are you hearing from your hotel members about the winter season? How are bookings?
So we're hearing very good feedback from our members and our industry partners, and interest in the Caribbean remains strong, pointing to a high demand, which is reflective of the traveler's mindset with accessibility of the region, brand identity, and management of the pandemic, key aspects that are driving that demand. Canadians are among the market leaders, according to a global outlook survey from our partner Travelzoo, which points that 87% of their Canadian members are planning one or more international trips next year, which of course kicks off with the winter, and the Caribbean is their second top destination just behind US. To support that interest of good bookings for the winter, our members continue to offer flexible booking options. And to help provide further assurance to travelers, last year we launched our exclusive travel protection plan administered by TripMate, where hotels can offer travel insurance as part of the booking, inclusive of COVID provisions.
I'm not surprised that Canadians have always loved the Caribbean, and I'm just dying to go back myself. So hopefully by winter we'll see things go back to normal. But experts are saying that COVID will be with us for a long time, and it'll be as common as the flu. So if it's something that we have to live with from now on, what do you think needs to be done to ensure that tourism in the region remains strong and viable?
Yes, I think we've all learned that COVID is going to be with us for longer than we would all wish for, and adaptability, flexibility, and collaboration is essential for the success. As the industry representatives, on our part, we will continue to advance initiatives and resources for our membership and the industry stakeholders to ensure that health safety remains a core element in everything that we do, and that the travelers feel secure and protected in selecting the Caribbean as their destination of choice. From a traveler's perspective, they also play a vital role in keeping tourism viable. And in the lines of collaboration and adaptability, we ask that visitors follow the health safety protocols established by the authorities of using face coverings, maintaining physical distancing, and hand washing so they can play their part in protecting our communities.
That's great to know. Thank you for sharing all that. Hopefully this winter will be a good one for the Caribbean. We all deserve some, after the 18 months we had, we all deserve some time in the sun, I know. So thank you so much, Vanessa, for being here today. I'm sure everyone learned a lot, as I did.
Well, if I can leave the audience with some goodbye remarks. To those of you that are dreaming of dipping their toes in our blue and turquoise waters, feel the beat of our culture, savor the most diverse and exquisite flavors in the world in the colorful landscape of our destinations, and feel the warmth embrace of our people, we want to remind you that there is no better place to refresh, renew, and heal one's mind, body, and spirit than the Caribbean. Life needs the Caribbean, and we look forward to welcoming you soon.
I completely agree. Thanks so much, Vanessa. Now let's go back to Devin for some prizes.
Hi, everyone. Okay, we have our first round of exciting prizing. So the first gift we are giving away is a JBL speaker, and that is going to go to Troy Knight, and he is with Travel Best Bets. Yay! Yay!